This is Roger with iGadgetGeek. Today we're going to be taking a look at the AT&T LG Optimus G Pro. Now the G Pro is available for $99 on a 2-year contract, or with the next pricing you can get it for $20 a month for 20 months. After 12 months you can trade this in on a brand new phone. Now just to kind of give you some ideas of the specs, this is a 1.7 quad-core processor with 2 gigs of RAM. It has 32 gigabytes built in, but it is expandable with a micro SD card up to an additional 64 gigs. Now it does incorporate a 5.5-inch 1080p display, and it has a 13 megapixel rear camera that will record video in full HD 1080p. Now this is running Android 4.1 Jelly Bean. It has a 3140 milliamp hour battery. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the box itself. Pretty much your standard stuff you've come to expect from an AT&T phone. You get your quick start guide, your warranty information. You also get a USB wall plug and your cable here, which is USB to micro USB for syncing and charging your Optimus G Pro. But let's set that to the side and let's go ahead and take a look around at the phone itself. So as you can see, right here is my Optimus G Pro. One of my favorite things about this is the back of the phone. It pretty much has no writing on it whatsoever, just a very nice little AT&T Globe logo. I really do like the back of this phone. There's no writing, no big logos or anything on the back of the phone. I kind of like that. Now on the very front, you have a LG logo here at the top. Then you have your center home button. Now I have a notification pending and I've left it like that so I could show you the notification light. Now as you can see right here, that home button actually has an LED built in around it that flashes when you have a notification. And you can actually program this notification different colors for different events. Now as you can see, your menu and back button are completely invisible when they are shut off. Once I wake this device, you can see the back arrow and the home button are very visible. But once you put that device to sleep, those buttons pretty much just disappear into the phone itself. I think that's a very nice touch that those buttons are not visible when the phone is off. Okay, so here we have the lock screen. Now you can actually customize your quick shortcuts here and actually even what clock and widget you have here. So I'm going to go ahead and unlock this and we're going to go to lock screen settings. Now you have your screen lock type, you have swipe, or if you want to use a pattern to unlock or anything like that. You have your wallpaper, so you can set the wallpaper that you would have on your lock screen. Then you have clocks and shortcuts. You're actually capable of placing up to 5 shortcuts on the lock screen, and you can choose from several different clocks, calendars, and everything to actually have, including weather, on your actual lock screen. So I think that's a real nice feature, allows you to customize that lock screen right out of the box. One of the other very cool software that is on this phone is the fact that it does have an IR blaster, so it allows you to control your remote controls, replace your remote controls with your phone. So you can control your cable box, your satellite box, your TV, and all of that things with this application. So as you can see right here, I have my cable box, you have your TV. One of the really cool features about this, you can access this from the lock screen. To do that, once you wake your phone, you press and hold the home button, and you're presented there with your remote control options. You can actually choose between the devices. You can control those without unlocking the phone. I think it's a great option. Press them again, and it will disappear. Now let's go ahead and dive right in, and we'll actually take a look at the software itself. Pretty much the same overlay we've seen from LG on their Optimus line. You have your pull down menu for your notifications. You can actually adjust your brightness right here. You have auto, and then your starting point on auto you can actually fully adjust. Then you have these quick slide apps, direct shortcuts to commonly used applications, and you can of course go in here and edit that. Then you have your quick settings up here at the top. There again you can go in and edit what buttons are there and the order of those buttons. So the fact that right out of the box, LG again gives you some great customization on this Optimus G Pro, I really do like. You have a nice weather widget, and you actually have some transition effects. So as you can see here, when I'm changing the screen, kind of has this according effect. we can go in here to home screen settings, and you got your swipe effect. You have basic, breeze, accordion, panorama, carousel, layer, or domino. I personally like the domino, so we'll leave it on domino. Now you have full screen circularly. In other words, once you go to your last screen, it will go back to the very first screen. Portrait view only. In other words, that'll prevent your home screen from rotating. So here you have it in portrait. If you rotate it to landscape, the display will again rotate. This is a very pretty 1080p screen. Very bright, very vivid colors. If you're looking for a great big display phone, the Optimus G Pro is going to be the phone for you. 5.5 inches at 1080p. It has a fantastic display. Now, of course, you do get a lot of the standard apps we've seen from AT&T right out of the box. Your AT&T Navigator, your AT&T Family, your Locker, all of those are included, but they're like most Jelly Bean AT&T devices. Once you go to General, you can actually go here to your applications. We find the tab. Go to Apps, and if there are pre-installed applications that you don't typically use, you can actually go in here and disable those. While you can't remove some of that bloatware from the phone, you can disable them. They'll no longer be running in the background using up your resources. So that's kind of a nice feature. Now, right out of the box, you see About Phone. Let's go ahead and take a look at software information. As I said, this is running Jelly Bean 4.1.2. Let's go ahead and head back here to storage. Storage, as you can see, has 23.3 gigabytes available to the end user. Right now, there's 22 gigabytes available. I do not currently have a SD card, but you can put up to a 64 gig SD card right into this phone. Now, your menu here is tab, so you got your network, sound, display, general. Now, if you don't like the tab view, you can switch to list view. Basically, it's going to put all of your settings here on one big pane like we've seen from a lot of other phones. Just want to kind of walk you guys around the phone, give you guys kind of an idea. Now, at the bottom, you have your main sync and charge port, your main microphone. On this right-hand side here, you have your sleep-wake button. On the very top, you have your secondary mic, your IR blaster, your headphone jack. On the left-hand side, you have a convenience key and a volume rocker. What you can do with that convenience key is you can program that to launch an application. Once I press it, it launches the photo app. Now, speaking of the photo app, it is a 13 megapixel camera, does a great job, and I have some test photos on my website, so head on over to igadgetgeek.com to check those out. And then on the very back, you have your rear speaker, your 13 megapixel camera, and flash. Now, before I wrap up, one of the last features I want to talk about is actually on the back of this battery door. If you pop this off, it actually does have NFC and inductive charging built into it right out of the box. Then, of course, there's your main battery, your SIM card, and your micro SD slot. So let's go ahead and snap this back on. Now, it uses the QI standard for wireless charging. I went ahead and pulled out my QI mat here. We'll go ahead and take the phone and place it directly onto it. And as you can see, it's going to start charging wirelessly. So it's a real nice feature that you can, out of the box, you don't have to purchase anything extra other than the charging mat. You can charge your Optimus G Pro wirelessly. Now that has been my full review of the AT&T LG Optimus G Pro, and this has been Roger with iGadgetGeek.